to Wildcat Park. Today's Senior Day as the Rosemount Fighting Irish travel over to Eagan to take on the Wildcats here at Wildcat Park for today's South Suburban baseball matchup. My name is Casey Lux. Normally I'm doing the PA and the scoreboard. Today I'm just doing the scoreboard, but I'm going to be with all of you today as we have a lovely baseball day. I'll be joined from time to time as a person that everyone knows in the Eagan area, Jeff Burgum. He's going to be doing the PA today, as well as he's our DJ every game. So Henderson's going to step in the box. Today's pitcher is going to be Reese Leitenberg. The energizer battery of today's game will be Leitenberg on the mound and senior Hawes. The Irish lineup will be Henderson, as the first pitch is low for a ball. He'll be followed up by the right fielder Connor Kennefick, and then also the third baseman Jake Retzlaff. We'll introduce them as they come up to the plate, as we'll stay with the game action. Leitenberg gets his first strike of the day. It's a little tidbit about Reese. Was slated to pitch yesterday. Fell a little sick in the afternoon, so they just had to bump his start one day. So yesterday was Liam Martin. He kind of moved up in the rotation for Eagan. Getting good control of his fastball here early. Getting command of it early. As Henderson's in the box. We'll go over some of the standings and even look into have some Eagan stats that we can fill in as the game goes on. Looks like Reese has a live arm here today. As many of you know, father played plenty of years of Major League Baseball. The Braves, Rockies. Leitenberg's 2-2 pitch in the dirt on a curveball. Coming into today, though, Rosemount sits 6-10 in the conference, with Eagan being 6-11. Overall, though, Rosemount is 6-13, where Eagan is 8-11 so far this season. The 3-2 pitch, the payoff pitch, is fouled off. Eagan puts out a few seniors here today. We got Matt Burgum, senior, out in left field. Luke Casanova, a senior, in right field. Jackson Amon, senior second baseman. Nick Downs, senior first baseman. And Ty Hawes. So good at bat by Henderson as he works the count, sees 8 pitches. Rosemount lineup today will be Connor Kennefick's going to be batting second. Jake Retzlaff will be playing third base. Tyler Steamer will be playing second base. Nick Magnuson will be doing the DHing. Logan Schaefer will be pitching, so Magnuson will be DHing for Schaefer. Easton Richter will be playing center field. Mason Morehouse will be playing second. Dylan Prinzel will be playing short. And Reed Nelson will be playing first. As we see a bunt, nice play by Leitenberg hopping off that mound for the first out of the inning. That does advance Henderson to second. So Retzlaff comes up, the third baseman, looking to cash in early with a runner in scoring position. As far as Eagan's defense goes, we got Burgum in left, Martin in center, Casanova in right, Barry at third, Aiden Byrne at short, Amon at second, Downs at first, Hawes behind the plate, Leitenberg on the mound. Leitenberg typically throws mainly fastball, curveball, mixes it in a changeup from time to time. Fastball first, misses up high. Has some snap on his fastball. The big thing for Reese is just keep in the strike zone. Or some would say maybe even becoming a little effectively wild at times, keeping the hitter off base. Beautiful day, though. Finally getting baseball weather. Yesterday was a lovely day, too, and a tough loss as the Wildcats lost 4-3 yesterday in the bottom of the 8th on a pass ball that scored in the eventual winner. Another one fouled off as he mixes in that curveball here today. Yesterday's matchup was against Farmington, and actually Farmington sits 10-6 in the conference. Right now the conference goes Eastview, Burnsville, Farmington, then Lakeville North. 1-2, 1 out here early on in the top of the first with Jake Retzloff at the dish, third baseman. I tried to get some info from Rosemount, but was unable to gather some stats from their coaching staff and Coach Chris Swanson. Fastball outside corner just misses. As it now goes to 2-2 count with 1 out. Also throughout today's cast, we'll be filling in some senior moments and some information that they gave us, some facts, some baseball memories, also where they're attending college or what they're doing post-senior year as well. Fastball gets behind or past Hawes. That's going to move Henderson over to third. 3-2 count now. 1 out early. We've kind of noticed with Reese in the past 2 years is it's really kind of getting past that first inning. Sometimes that first inning can drag a little bit for him. I don't know if that's a sign of either just not being fully loose or just maybe a little nerves here early on. Reese is a junior, also does some time out in right field. Today he's got the call on the mound. 3-2 count, the 3-2 pitch. Base it up the middle for an RBI for Retzloff. Gives an early lead to Rosemount.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 37, Tyler Steimer.
So Tyler Steimer comes in. He's the catcher here today. As Retzloff picks up the game's first RBI. Reese looking to get ahead in the count. Misses, gets a generous call in the outside corner. As I mentioned, South Suburban standings go. Eastview right now sitting on top with a 10-5 record, while Burnsville is right behind him with 11-6 record. Retzloff takes off. Good throw by Hawes. Good scoop by Byrne. Bang, bang play. Byrne thought he had him. So Retzloff steals a bag. Now in scoring position for Steimer at the plate. Good pitch to run on, being that it was a 1-1 count. Excuse me, 0-1 count at the time. Yeah. Yeah, so Reese is going to kind of pitch to the umps zone here today, and early on, at least to these lefties, he's giving them that outside corner. So see if Reese can take advantage here early and often. Off speed, a change up, straightaway center to Martin. No tag on the play. Martin's arm looks pretty fresh for a guy that just got done pitching 6 innings yesterday. So the DH, Nick Magnuson, steps in. He's going to be DHing for the pitcher, Logan Schaefer. Retzloff still at second with the game's first RBI. And Rosemount taking this early 1-0 lead. Throughout the cast, we'll get the DJ, the PA, the Mr. Everything, Mr. Jeff Bergamon with us here. But he's just kind of getting settled in here early. Curveball fouled away by Magnuson. Quick 0-2 count. So Leitenberg trying to get out of here early with just giving up that 1 run after giving up that leadoff walk to Henderson. And a good at bat by Henderson. Pretty much saw all the pitches that Reese throws. Payoff pitch is a ball outside. Good waste pitch. Most times you see in that 0-2 count. Most times you see in that 0-2 count is you're going to see either a fastball up and away or off speed out. Curveball misses inside. So 2-2 count, 2 outs here at Wildcat Park on this lovely Wednesday afternoon. Last home game of the season for the Wildcats. They have one more game here tomorrow on the road.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 30, Easton Richter, number 30.
So Magnuson coax a walk as now Easton Richter, the center fielder, steps in. Early on, the reports are a lot of lefties here today. I don't know if they were assuming that it was a righty pitching for Eagan or if that's just most of what their hitters are, but a lot of lefties here today at the park. First pitch is going to be a base hit into center as we're going to watch Retzloff roll on in. So now early 2-0 lead with 2 hits as Richter plates Retzloff.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 4, Mason Morehouse, number 4.
Mason Morehouse, the second baseman. We're going to take a quick look here on that first pitch fastball. Kept his hands back, went with the pitch, flipped it out to center. Nice piece of hitting. Obviously, Richter at that time knew that more than likely he was going to be seeing a fastball after noticing that 5-pitch walk. So just a sign that he was able to jump out early and be ready to hit. Something that can be a detriment to hitters as times get too anxious and too excited up at the plate, not getting solid contact or chasing a bad pitch. 2-0 is the early count. 2 outs here. It's 2-0 early on here, Rosemount, as they scored 2 runs quickly on 2 hits and 2 walks. Leitenberg trying to get back in the strike zone as he gets a foul ball for strike 1. As we talked about the South Suburban baseball standings, I might as well get it in early. Eastview is actually 12-5 overall, so they've only played 2 non-conference games. And Burnsville 12-8 overall, Farmington 12-8 overall too. So not a whole lot differentiating between the top and the bottom of the conference. But at the same time, right now, Eastview and Burnsville are kind of neck and neck for the top battle, as well as Farmington's in the mix too. They play 18 games for their regular season, whereas Eastview looks like has to make up a few games here late. Swinging strike, ball gets past Barry as Rosemount plates another early run. Good throw by Hawes. Looks like Barry was trying to apply that tag just a tad too early as the ball squirted out. We'll take a quick look at it as we watch Magnuson come in to plate that early run. I'm having a hard time hearing what if it's a ball or a strike, so I'm confusing the umps here early with their clock scoreboard. Okay, so it's 2-2 count here for Reese. Leitenberg on the mound as Richter sits at second. Fastball's out. Batter once again is Mason Morehouse, playing second today. Long first inning for the Wildcats as they hope to get out of this jam and get the hot bats rolling. Chopper got the charge by Byrne. He's got a strong arm and an excellent throw right on target to Downs for the 3rd out. So Rosemount gets 3 runs on 2 hits, 2 walks. As we're going to take a quick look at that nice play by shortstop, the junior shortstop, Aiden Byrne. Big hop off the plate, charges it, makes a throw. Wouldn't have time to set up and set his feet up, but did an excellent job throwing on the run. throw he's probably practiced numerous times and makes the play to downs. So today's Energizer battery of the game for Rosemount will be Schaefer on the mound, as well as Steimer behind the plate. Eagan's lineup for today will be center fielder Liam Martin leading off. He's a freshman. The senior Jackson Amon playing second. DHing today will be senior Jonah Pellegrom. He's DHing for the pitcher Reese Leitenberg. Followed by Aiden Byrne, the shortstop. Senior Nick Downs, the first baseman. Third baseman is Lincoln Berry. Followed by senior Ty Hawes catching. Senior Matt Burgum will be playing left field. And senior Luke Casanova will be playing right field.
Leading off the Wildcats, center fielder, number 16, Liam Martin.
So as we mentioned, Liam Martin did an excellent job pitching yesterday against Farmington. Kept it at bay. Went 5+ innings. And back on the field. Arm looks good. I mean, he's young. He can bounce back quick as he's playing center field. Only a freshman, so Coach Butler is obviously excited to have him with his squad for another 3+ years. On the season, a few stats here. Liam's batting .294. As we see the pitch from Schaefer, curveball that hangs. Looks like he didn't get a good enough grip on it. One thing you'll notice from pitchers early on is trying to find that release point as well as that feel for that curveball early in the game. The real good pitchers, as we see a fastball low and away for a strike, the real good pitchers obviously have that early. Sometimes you'll notice that the off speed isn't there early. Sometimes I think that that's a fact of just not being fully loose. But it's a nice hot day, so all these guys' arms should be plenty ready to go.
Come on, kid. Go there, kid.
Martin settles in on a 2-2 count. Waits from Schaefer. Another fastball. Hit down the line to right field. Making a nice diving catch is the right fielder Lucas Henderson. Battled the sun on that play as well.
Now batting for Wildcats, second baseman, number 5,
So we have senior Jackson Amon, the second baseman. He's going to be playing next year at St. John's University, following his dad's footsteps. Dad currently works for St. John's University. So Jackson's excited to go to St. John's, as we mentioned. Probably has to get rid of any and all purple attire, other than if it has a Viking on it, with the rival being St. Thomas. Amon, 2+ year starter. Does an excellent job. Normally he's been the leadoff hitter for the Wildcats. So you watch a curveball outside. Looks like Coach Butler's felt a little more confidence in moving Martin up. And then you add a little more pop by pushing Amon down one slot in the batting order. So Amon sits at a 2-2 count. One out here, bottom of the first, on senior day at Wildcat Park. Curveball out. One thing I've been impressed with watching Jackson the last 2 years, really handles the bat well, works the count, doesn't typically swing out of his shoes. As he hits one to right field, Henderson has a beat on it, and early on Henderson has both outs for the Irish.
now batting for Wildcats, designated hitter, number 7, Jonah.
The DH is Jonah Pellegrom, another senior. He'll be playing baseball next year at Gustavus. Just came back from a foot injury that he suffered about a week and a half ago. And Bergie up here and I have been impressed with how well and quickly he's been moving for having that injury not that long ago. He wears a little brace on his right foot. He's the professional hitter of the Wildcats. As we're going to welcome in Mr. Jeff Burgum.
Casey, nice to see you here. Nice to have you here. We're going to jump in here real quick.
Absolutely.
What a beautiful day. My goodness.
Give us your doctor analysis on Jonah's injury.
You know, I think it was a small break on the top part of the foot, and I think it fortunately didn't require lots of time off the foot from what I heard. I understand that the Minnesota Wild training staff was hovering over Jonah night and day. As
he has it in, I think, right?
Jonah's dad, Jeff, works for the Wild.
Well, if they said he was ready to play, then he was ready to play. As we see that ball hit to Retzloff, Retzloff relays to Nelson for the 3rd out of the inning. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for Schaefer. Not much damage done. Not many balls hit very hard here early on. So 3 up, 3 down, and after 1 now it's 3-0 Rosemount.
But what a day, though, Casey. We've had some weather at Wildcat Park that has been not fit for anybody, yet alone baseball players. But what a gorgeous day, mid-70s, sunny.
I know. I felt like I wanted to give my legs some air today.
Right.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is what baseball weather is all about. Unfortunately, we don't see it until May,
right.
Whereas most of the country gets to see baseball weather starting in March. So hopefully the boys can have a quick 1-2-3 inning and get the bats ready to roll.
Yeah, you mentioned the weather being nice and warm, so they should be nice and loose. And I think kind of funny to say it, but the key will be to hydrate.
Yeah.
Hydration today because it's a little warm out there. But again, they're looking forward to a fun day of baseball. Off to kind of a little slower start, so then they got to get the bat swinging and get back in this one.
Yeah, and I've also been interested to see kind of how Leitenberg bounces back. Obviously he was sick yesterday. He doesn't look like he's weak or weary on the mound by any means, but hopefully get that kind of the bug out of him, maybe that first inning, and start quickly with the first pitch strikes.
Yeah, Reese is a real strong pitcher. He'll bounce back real good.
Absolutely.
Strong player.
So this is Reese. Reese is a junior. He's his 2nd year on varsity. Last year was mainly just a pitcher. This year's been sprinkled in the outfield as well, and maybe even a time or two when Pellegrom was hurt. So first up today here in the 2nd be Dylan Prinzel.
For Rosemount, number 34, Dylan Prinzel, number 34.
So it's shortstop Dylan Prinzel will step in, facing Leitenberg. Early 3-0 lead for Rosemount as he coaxes a quick pop-up that Barry's going to secure. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Leitenberg.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 35, Reed Nelson, number 35.
The first baseman will be Reed Nelson as he steps in with 1 out here in the top of the 2nd. Leitenberg hoping to keep this rolling. Strikes early and often in the count. First pitch fastball was a little out. Unfortunately, we do not have any pitching stats here today, but we do have some hitting stats that we'll sprinkle in throughout the game. Comes inside, what you have to do as a right-handed pitcher to right-handed batter, but a little too inside. Early on, looks like Reese is relying mainly on his fastball. As a quick 1-hopper to Amon. Amon does a nice job of taking a step back. Makes the relay to Downs.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 2, Lucas Henderson.
So we flipped the order back to the top of the lineup as Lucas Henderson, the right fielder, who saw plenty of action, had 2 putouts in right field in the first inning. He led off the game with a walk and then came around to score on the game's first base hit. First pitch is a strike for Leitenberg. Good crowd here today at Wildcat Park. As we see a hit by pitch as it caught Henderson a little bit on that chicken wing. The left fielder next will be Connor Kennefick.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 8, Connor Kennefick, number 8.
Take a look here quickly at that inside pitch. Just kind of grazes tricep area. Didn't really lean into it, so it's a fair game, fair play. And Henderson increases his on-base percentage. Getting a big lead over there as Leitenberg flips her over to Downs. Always interesting play within the game with the head coaches. You got your top of the lineup up. You got a speedster and Henderson on first. Do you send him with 2 outs, knowing that if he does get thrown out, you're going to have your number 2 hitter leading off the top of the 3rd. At the same time, you're also trying to play the game of getting him in scoring position early on, so that way even a bloop of a base hit can maybe score him from second. last year, actually, Reese Leitenberg did most of his pitching actually from the stretch the whole season, as you start to see a lot more pitchers do. Part of that being that they feel like they get a little more balance and they're bringing their momentum home easier and less motion and effort. But Reese has gone back to throwing from the windup with no runners on. 0-2's quick count here to Kennefic. As Leitenberg looks to throw something out of the zone, but also something that Hawes can handle and not put Henderson on second. Waste pitch outside for the fastball. 1-2's our count. Henderson's on first. Kennefic at the dish. Eagan playing Kennefic pretty much straight up, with Martin shading a little bit to right field, as well as Bergen playing a little bit off the line. And there's that changeup, as Reese gets him to whiff at strike 3. So after 1.5, it's 3-0 Rosemount. As I mentioned, we'll sprinkle in some stats. We'll sprinkle in some factoids of the seniors as they come to the plate, as well as other seniors on the team. And actually, we'll have Aiden Byrne will be leading off this inning. Let's give a little fact here right away off the bat. So one of the guys
Are these little-known facts? These are little-known facts from the seniors that you would never know, but they wanted to share this with the public.
Yeah, and they want this out in the interweb world, right? So a guy that we might see later in the relief mode would be Andrew Stour, number 14 pitcher, right? So fun fact for you, Jeff. Went undefeated in singles, badminton, and gym.
Wow.
Big badminton guy, Stour. Good lateral movement.
So he could be looking at D1 in badminton.
He could be
somewhere.
D1. I don't know if they give scholarships to badminton. Yeah, I've heard that handball is still popular out in Denver, but maybe badminton's popular somewhere else.
And Andrew's a good athlete, so it's interesting how these baseball players are going to be good at pretty much whatever they want to do playing sports.
Absolutely. So first up today for Eagan, first and the second, leading off in the second will be Aiden Byrne, the shortstop, number 12. So Aiden Byrne steps in, batting .288 on the season. He is tied for second on the team with 7 stolen bases. He is also tied for the team lead with 9 RBIs. First pitch, fastball outside, hit hard. We get the relay from Prinzel to Nelson for the first out of the inning. Routine grounder to Prinzel. So senior Nick Downs, the first baseman, now comes up with 1 out as Byrne grounded out to Prinzel. Let's see if we can muster up a little factoid for Downs here. First pitch, changeup, looks a little up, but still called for a strike. Nick Downs says he plays first base because that's where they stick the fat kid at a young age. Is that a Coach Bergam thing?
No. This is. I want to make sure the kids wrote these, so this is coming from the kids themselves. So this is Nick's words.
Absolutely. As he takes the curveball inside for strike 3. Lincoln Berry comes in, junior, third baseman. Been real impressed with his arm and his glove work over at third, and he's been getting timely hits all season long. Curveball on the outside corner for a strike. He's got a real strong arm over at third base. Does a nice job of setting his feet. Never really rushes his throw. On the season, Barry's batting .260. He has 3 stolen bases. And as we're seeing here early, Schaefer's obviously shook off any rust that he maybe had in the first, because he's been just throwing strikes here. Actually, he's been throwing 6 straight strikes here for Schaefer. First one in the dirt for a ball and a curveball and a waste pitch. As I mentioned, Barry's got 3 stolen bases. And he's also tied for the team lead with 9 RBIs and also has 9 runs on the season. As he fouls that one off, fastball away. Early 3-0 lead here at Wildcat Park. Lovely day, senior day. And as Jeff also reminded us and reminded everyone, these little-known facts are little-known facts that the seniors wrote themselves. So take that with a grain of salt as well. 2-2 is the count here early on. 2 outs, bottom of the second. Once again, we'll say this multiple times, but we have to thank Josh Shipley, who's in the truck, as well as the lovely camera crew that does an excellent job when they're out here at Wildcat Park, whether it be for baseball, softball, or any other events here around Eagan. Great feeds, we got replays, we got it all. And we're really happy to have them and being able to show others the games that if they're not able to make it or watch it on a tape delay.
Yeah, we got a top-notch staff. And I think the last time ETV was here, I did mention to the staff, Josh Sibley, the, I believe, director, kind of runs the production here, was going to take out the crew for coffee. I don't know if that ever happened. We should remind Josh of that. So
coffee,
maybe
donuts. I mean, it was cold that day.
It was cold. I hope he did that. We'll have to talk to the camera crew.
Especially the camera crew that was on, well, all of them that were outside in the elements.
I thought it was
out in the wind. As we watch another curveball by Schaefer, who's feeling the flow right now, and gets Barry on strike 3 on that curveball. So after 2 complete, it's 3-0 Rosemount as we're getting ready to roll into the top of the third.
Yeah, Schaefer's looking good, real stronger after 2 innings. No hits allowed yet, several strikeouts. But again, Reese Leitenberg kind of settled in nicely after that first inning, so now he came back with a real solid second inning. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the big thing for Reese is just kind of getting through that first inning. And it's, there's a lot of pitchers. There's a lot of guys that sometimes just their stuff isn't with them on that first inning. Maybe they aren't fully loose. Especially when you're the home team, you're trying to get a feel for the strike zone. So there can be a lot of factors in that top of the first. So obviously Reese looking to bounce back here and keep the pitch count low so he can go deep in the game. And that way Coach Butler doesn't have to go to the bullpen early and often. So you have to tell me as a parent, what's it like now here, senior day? A lot of these kids you've watched play with your son
Casey,
Matt for a long time.
They always tell you, enjoy the time because it goes by fast. You say to yourself, there's no way. It's gonna go on forever. It doesn't. It goes by fast. I've got an older daughter that graduated from college this last weekend. She was a athlete too. It goes by fast, so I just tell you, enjoy every minute, enjoy every second. It goes by quick, and it's all about the memories.
Absolutely.
You want to win the game, obviously,
yes.
But it's all about the fun memories you make.
Yep. Yeah. Have good memories of the time spent with your teammates, your coaches, family. Absolutely. I think parents tell the kids that when you're younger, and none of the kids want to believe you because they think that the time's going to stand still, but it never does. So leading off here, the top of the third will be the third baseman Jake Retzloff.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 29, Jake Retzloff, number 29.
So Retzloff had the first RBI of the game as he plated Henderson. Henderson started off the game with a walk, moved over, and then base hit up the middle, brought him in. So Leitenberg trying to get some revenge factor here early on against Retzloff. Retzloff just saw that one pitch. It was a fastball. He jumped on it, flipped it up to center field.
What do you mean when you say you're going to tag someone?
Another fastball in the dirt. Once again, the outfield for Eagan goes Burgum in left, Martin in center, Casanova in right. 2-0 count, top of the third. Another fastball low. So Coach Butler and pitching coach Tom Buski definitely likes the idea of keeping it low and around the knees, but Leitenberg has to bring it up a bit. And that can be due to release point as well as maybe overstriding at times as he gets a strike on the inside corner. (3-1) pitch here to Retzloff. Again in the dirt. So Retzloff will take first on a walk.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 37,
Tyler Steimer, the catcher, will step in with Retzloff now at first. Reese looking to get something low that coaxes a double play or a ground ball. Gets that fastball in the outside corner. Once again, Eagan playing pretty much straight up. You don't see a whole lot of shift with this lefty Steimer batting. Burns still playing pretty normal position at short. Barry's over a step or two, and even Amon's actually playing kind of straight up. Line shot right to Amon. This could be a double play, and it is. So Nick Magnuson steps in. He's DHing for the pitcher, Logan Schaefer. And that's just kind of one of those plays that coaches really have a hard time even getting upset at the runner there. As Steimer laced that one to Amon. Retzlaff did about all you can do. I mean, they want you to freeze on a line drive or even chest up to the ball. Something like that, though, you're already taking your lead. Hot shot to second with the short throw. You're more than likely, about 80% of the time, probably going to get picked off. But as we mentioned, probably a good placement of Amon, not overly shifting towards the right field line. Fastball's in. As now we sit 3-0 to Magnuson, the DH. Fastball over the dish for strike one. 2 outs here in the top of the third. We're at Wildcat Park. Traveling Rosemount Irish, taking on your Eagan Wildcats. Reese comes back with a fastball in. As we mentioned, Rosemount is sitting 6-10 in the conference, 6-13 overall. Currently on a 2-game losing streak, whereas Eagan's on a 1-game losing streak. So both teams looking to get back in the old left-handed win column. 3-2, the payoff pitch here with 2 outs in the top of the third. Fastball's low.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 30, Easton Richter. Number 30.
So we got the center fielder, Easton Richter, up. As Magnuson now is on first after coaxing that walk. Reese looking to get ahead early and often here. More than likely to come with the fastball, but looks like he throws a changeup high. Misses for ball 1. Speaking of the second baseman, senior Jackson Amon. And remember, these are fun facts about the players themselves that they offered up to us. As Mason gets a big lead, takes off on the pitch, pop up looking towards short. We got catch by Aiden Byrne for the 3rd out of the inning. So after 2.5, it's still 3-0 Rosemount. Back to Jackson Amon, who had that nice line drive double play. Couple fun facts from Jackson. He likes looking at maps, he says. So, you know, in the days of technology, Jeff, he's the guy that, you know, Grandma and Grandpa will buy him state of Minnesota map and say, keep this in your glove compartment, right? Because he loves looking at them.
And we can't say it enough. You mentioned a couple times, Casey, but these are things that the players themselves wrote.
Absolutely. So let's go another one here.
Looking at maps.
So he says that he has long fingers, so one of his many nicknames is Fingers.
That's clever.
I mean, surprisingly, you'd think that a guy with long fingers would be a pitcher, right?
Right.
You know, late release point, get more spin rate. That's the big word these days with all the analytics. And then the last one that Jackson offers up is he said, "I will beat you in ping pong." So you could be a lot of different things. That could be me. That could be Mr. Burgum. But he's the ping pong master.
Now batting for Eagan, catcher, number 28, Ty Haas. Number 28.
So senior catcher Ty Haas steps in. On the season, Mr. Haas, 8 RBIs, batting .238. Been really impressed with his work behind the plate. Eagan was really fortunate to have an excellent catcher in Grunkley last year for multiple seasons. But I've really been impressed. I know Ty's put in a lot of work in the offseason. I was actually at a couple practices last year. He was always one of the last guys to leave, putting in extra work. And I'm happy that he's having a solid senior season behind the plate. Schaefer's fastball misses outside, so it's 1-1. Haas has got some pop in his bat, as he does have the 1 home run on the season. And he has a stolen base, too, so he jack of all trades as he laces a hot shot down third base. That ball gets by Retzlaff. Haas is going to take a big round. He's going to go for 2. We're going to have a relay. And he gets in. So he did secure the tag. Prinsel doesn't, excuse me, not Prinsel, that was Morehouse doesn't secure the tag. Haas getting greedy on senior day, and he gets in with a double. Pinch running will be, courtesy running, excuse me, will be Ty Gage, the backup catcher, number 8. So we're going to watch Haas get out of the box here, and he's thinking double all the way. Takes a quick peek, as you can see, once he gets to first. Takes a pretty wide turn, comes barreling into second, and the tag is there, but unable to secure the tag was Morehouse. Now it looks like Coach Swanson came out to speak through it. I'm guessing his argument is that maybe Haas kicked it out of the glove of Morehouse. So now we're going to get a little ump tea party here behind the pitcher's mound. It's a little different than the transfer rule, as you may recall. On the old transfer rule, they'll give you the out at second, drop the ball. They're going to say the out stays. But the call remains.
Eagan, left fielder, number 18. Number 18.
Matt Burgum steps in. Just a little relation to my sidekick up here, Jeff. Matt's going to be going next year to St. Scholastica and really excited about doing some outfield as well as pitching. Currently, he's the Wildcat ace on the mound. I've been really impressed with the improvement from last year to this. He had an excellent year last year, but this year it's just been really, really impressive. Never gives in to the hitters. Gets early, and he's added kind of a pickoff move here recently too, as he picked off 2 or 3 runners on Monday. So 0-1 early, and that outside corner is still quite wide. Looks like the home plate ump has early dinner reservations, so he wants to get out of here in less than 2 hours today. So it's 0-2 to Burgum. We got Gage at second. Fastball's low. 1-2's our count. It's still early on, 3-0 Rosemount in the bottom of the second. Gage is courtesy running for Haas, who led off the inning with a double down the third baseline. Curveball misses out. Looks like Schaefer just kind of having a tough time with that grip early on his curveball. On the season, though, for Burgum, 235, 9 runs scored, couple stolen bases. As he flips ones out to the left field, Kennefic's got a beat on it, makes the catch. Gage is going to fake the tag, but has to get back quick as they throw behind the runner.
Hey, learn from that, guys. You take hard steps, you throw up and throw behind you, so go hard.
So Burgum battles, but unable to move Gage over to third.
Right fielder, number 3, Luke Casanova.
So Luke Casanova, the right fielder, kind of the jack of all trades. Even just, I think, in this last probably 3 home games, I've seen him play left, center, and now right. So Casanova, the number 9 hitter today, steps in. First pitch is going to be a fastball inside for strike 1. Casanova on the season, 225, 3 stolen bases, 5 RBIs, and he is second on the team with 10 runs. So the speed is definitely there. So Coach Butler would love to get Casanova on the bases as they try for the pickoff move on Gage. Gage gets back in. Nice timing play right there between Prinsel and Schaefer. Something you practice in the gym, something you practice during the season. It's all about the timing. Called the daylight play as Casanova flips one to right field for a base hit. Coach Butler's going to hold Gage up as it was hit right at Henderson, but Casanova comes through with the second Wildcat hit of today's contest. That's going to bring us back to the top of the lineup with Liam Martin, the center fielder.
Number 16, Liam Martin. number 16.
So Liam Martin, once again, is the freshman as we watch Casanova. Does a nice job on that off-speed pitch, keeping his hands back, even kept his helmet on, and just went with the pitch and flipped it out to right field. Martin, the freshman, spends his time on the mound or center field. Recently, he's been moved up to the leadoff spot. As I mentioned earlier, .294 on the season. Leads the team in stolen bases with 9. Second on the team with 8 RBIs. And actually leads the team in 12 runs. So an excellent opening campaign for this freshman, Liam Martin, as he fouls one off over to Coach Butler. Coach Butler, a man that I know real well, great friend of mine. Fortunate enough to play 3 years of college baseball with him at Concordia St. Paul. And then Coach Butler then went on to play about 8+ years in the independent league. We see a double play ball. Martin's going to beat it out. First run of the game for Eagan. So Martin uses his speed to beat out that relay with Morehouse to Princeell to Nelson. Nice play by Morehouse. Wasn't hit the hardest, so that allowed Martin to get down the line. So Wildcats get their first run of the day. 2 outs here now with the senior Jackson Amon. And a reminder that Jackson wants you to know that he will beat you in ping pong. Curveball in the dirt, and that's going to get Martin over to second. As I mentioned earlier, really impressed with Amon. He's going to be an excellent addition to St. John's. Controls, real good control of his bat. As I was mentioning to Coach Butler, type of player, especially when he was in the leadoff spot, he kind of was a double guy, meaning that he could get that single, steal second before 2 or 3 pitches into the at-bat. As we see and then we get a ball dropped. Miscommunication as Amon gets a freebie of a hit, and Eagan scores her second run as Martin just keeps running from second. So that ball was hit pretty much in Reed Nelson's territory right behind first base. It looked at the last minute that Morehouse wanted to call him off, and then there was a little bit of confusion, and that led to a base hit. I mean, that not the hardest RBI, but Jackson's going to take it. It's going to eat that one up. Absolutely. It's senior day magic right there. And for Jackson, that will be RBI number 10 on the season. So Jonah Pellegrom comes in, and as I just was speaking about it, we're going to watch Jackson Amon steal his 8th base of the season. So kind of what I just was speaking about, that's what was so impressive about Amon early on in the season when he was a leadoff hitter. Get a leadoff single, steal second before the pitcher even had 1 or 2 pitches, or 2 pitches to that second hitter. So now Amon's in scoring territory as Pellegrom, the professional hitter. 2-year DH, does spend some time out in right field. In the past, I know he's played a little bit of first base as well. Fastball foul back. 1-1 is the early count here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. We've seen RBIs by Amon as well as Martin. 1-1 pitch, curveball, out. So Schaefer's still trying to get a good feel for his curveball here. We're going to give you a little factoid about Jonah. As we mentioned, Jonah will be playing next year at Gustavus. 2-1 pitch, fastball again out. Says his nickname is either JP or Pelly. He was originally from Racine, Wisconsin. And if I had my Wikipedia quick and handy, I believe there's a famous, I think Karan Butler might be from Racine, to be honest. As Pellegrom check swings, takes the walk to first. That'll bring up shortstop Aiden Byrne.
Shortstop, number 12, Aiden Byrne.
Aiden Byrne is a junior. Started as a sophomore last year, so he's had plenty of varsity at-bats. Strong hitter. More of a singles-doubles hitter, but I know he's got some pop in his bat. as he sets in. Curveball misses outside. On the season, though, for Byrne, 288, 7 stolen bases, 9 RBIs, 6 runs. Amon's at second as we see the base hit up the middle by Byrne. That's going to plate in Amon. Pellegrim's going to try to get in and slide into third, and he is safe. So Byrne with the base hit plates Amon. We have a tie ball game, and now Pellegrim sits at third.
Work's not done, okay? Be aggressive with that thing. In the zone.
Now batting for the Wildcats, first baseman number 32, Nick Downs, number 32.
Nice job by Byrne sitting back on that fastball. Deposits it right back up the middle. Amon's leaving on the swing of the bat, and a good job of Pellegrim going from first to third. So Byrne's at second, Pellegrim's at third. Senior Nick Downs, a first baseman, swings missed at the outside curveball. Downs, as we mentioned on the season, 226, 4 RBIs and 5 runs. I think he might lead the team in hit by pitches as well, because as we look at him almost throw that elbow, that chicken wing out there. Hey, anyway on, that on-base percentage, you want that thing to keep going up. So 1-1's the count, 2 outs. Fastball on the outside corner for strike. Looking for a little more factoids from Nick Downs as we look for the 1-2 pitch. Curveball. Got to get rid of it quick, and he does. And a nice relay from Prinzel to Nelson. So, after 3 complete, it's 3-3, Rosemount and Eagan, as Eagan plates 4 hits, scores 3 runs on 4 hits here in the bottom of the third. As we're going to see the replay, watch Downs hustling down first base. Excuse me, that was the base hit? Nope, that was Downs down first base. So Leitenberg's going to step back out there for the top of the 4th. And once again, we want to remind everyone it is senior day here at Wildcat Park. I was going to give a factoid about Nick Downs, but we'll save that for a little later. I'm going to give a different one about one of the guys that we maybe will see a little bit later. We'll give a factoid about Tyler Martinez. Here's one for you, Jeff. Tyler, he's kind of a jack of all trades. I've seen him come in, play some third, play some outfield, pinch running. Makes a good banana bread.
How about that? Banana bread. I wouldn't have guessed that, but again, many talents on the Martinez family.
Now, how do you go with your banana bread? Do you like the cold banana bread with the cold butter, or do you like to warm up the banana bread and melt the butter?
Melt that butter a little bit. Oh,
okay.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fair enough. So Martinez, the banana bread man. So now we get to the top of the 4th, as we're going to see.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 4, Mason Morehouse.
Mason Morehouse, the second baseman. Did a nice job of starting what they wanted to be was a double play, but Martin hustled down the bases to get that early first run RBI. Leitenberg consistently has been pitching into the 5th, 6th inning, and that's what Coach Butler and the staff would like to see from him today as he gets that first pitch strike. Rosemount, a good mix of righties and lefties. A little more lefty heavy early on the top of their lineup. The 0-1 pitch is a fastball, low. What we've noticed here early on is the home plate ump likes to call that outside corner, especially when it's a lefty up at the plate. Doesn't seem like he's giving as much room to the righties. Fastball popped up. Martin's got a beat on it in center. Tracks it down for the first out of the inning.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 34.
So, shortstop.
Number 34.
Shortstop number 34, Dylan Prinzel. Fastball outside quarter. There's that strike we were looking for from Leitenberg. But heavy fastball, few changeups, not too many curveballs here early on. Getting a good feel for his fastball. Misses that fastball low. Prinzel had the nice relay on the Hawes double from when Kennefic to Princeton to Morehouse. But in doing so, Hawes was beat on the play, but somehow found a way to finagle and pop that ball out of Morehouse's glove. As we watch a base hit by Princeton up the middle. Squares that up and goes right where the pitch came from for their third hit of the ball game.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 35.
So Reed Nelson will be stepping in,
Nelson,
first baseman, with Princeton now in first. Haven't seen a whole lot of movement from Rosemount on the bases here early on. They did steal one base earlier on a bang-bang play from Hawes to Byrne. Byrne did a nice scoop and applied the tag. Fastball, curveball's up for ball one. Once again, an excellent crowd as everybody's been itching and scratching and crawling to get outside and enjoy the lovely weather. We got a little action down in the Eagan bullpen. As we see, Prince will take off. Byrne cuts off the throw and then applies the tag. Princeton doesn't believe it as he doesn't feel like he felt anything of a tag. And Coach Swanson's going to come in and get an explanation.
Hey, great tag right there. Way to be athletic.
So Coach Swanson, get an explanation, but the call is going to stand. 1-1's the count. 2 outs here as Hawes having a nice senior day. Throws out a runner here in the top of the fourth and gets a steal as well. Gets a double early on. So 1-1's our count. Leitenberg on the mound. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. When Reese is going really well, it's when he has excellent command of his fastball early and often in the count, which allows him to set up that changeup. As we can see, a hot shot to Henderson. Casanova dives, misses it. As we watch Nelson round into second for a double. So Rosemont's fourth hit of today's game, and that's going to bring up the leadoff hitter, the right fielder, Lucas Henderson.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 2, Lucas Henderson, number 2.
Henderson had a leadoff walk and then came around to score the first run of the game for Rosemount. Excellent effort by Casanova there. Just out of his reach down the right field line. Fastball on the outside corner, though, is good for a strike. As we're going to bring to you I was going to bring in some more senior factoids, but we'll wait on that. 0-1's our count here. Top of the fourth, 3-3 ball game. Ball hit, hot shot to Martin. To Barry. Barry relays it to Downs for the third out of the inning. Once again, Barry flashing that strong arm. Yes. So we're going to bring in some more factoids, and we're going to bring in this. Okay. So Mr. Bergham's going to give us a little factoid here. So Amon's factoids are being spread out to the crowd. Okay, now for Eagan, stepping in will be the third baseman, Lincoln Berry, Jr.
Lincoln Berry, number 10.
3 stolen bases on the year, 9 RBIs, 9 runs, batting .260, and playing a solid third base. Schaefer pitched in a solid game, went in a little trouble last inning. Wasn't really hit overly hard, as it's a 1-0 count to Barry. Fastball fouled back. Schaefer looks to mainly be throwing fastballs with a few curveballs here today early on. Haven't seen too many changeups from Schaefer as he throws his curveball fouled away to Coach Butler. Coach Butler with a short arm throw. That's a nice dig by Schaefer. Coach Butler, as I mentioned, played about 7, 8+ years independent baseball for the Saints as well as the Salt Dogs. A little confusion there as we thought it was a foul tip, but it was a swing and a miss. Just kind of popped out of the catcher's glove. So retired on a strikeout.
Now batting for the Wildcats, catcher number 28, Ty Haas.
So
Number 28.
Ty Hawes, if you want to say, broke up the no-hitter early in the top of the third, or bottom of the third, with that double down third baseline. A factoid from Ty here after this replay. We're going to watch this strike 3 that pops out of the catcher's glove. And as we mentioned, there was a little bit of confusion as it looked like it might have been a foul tip. Ref quickly called that off. Umpire, called that off quickly. Fastball on the outside corner for a ball. So for Ty, a couple known facts would be that he plays the saxophone. And he's also the master cook on Thanksgiving. He says he takes care of the turkey himself. So 2-1's our count, 1 out. Bottom of the 4th, 3-3 ball game. Hits are even at 4, no errors on either side. Cleanly played game as we see a strike on the outside corner. Strike zone looks wider than it is vertically, with the ump giving an inch or so on each side of the plate as opposed to the high or low strikes as we see a fastball missing outside. 3-2's now the count to catcher, or also senior, Ty Hawes. Schaefer's going to rock back. Fastball. Hawes gets his just enough on it to foul it back. Hawes does a nice job with his bat, as well as a nice job behind the plate. Doesn't strike out very often. As you can see now, he's choking up here on this 3-2 pitch. Fastball's low and outside. So Hawes finds a way to get on first with a early walk here in the bottom of the 2nd. Once again, looks like we're going to have a courtesy runner, which is going to be number 8, Ty Gage.
Wildcats, left fielder number 18, Matt Burgum, number 18.
So Matt Burgum steps in. He's the left fielder here today. He pitched on Monday. An excellent outing, a 1-hit outing through 6 innings at Shakopee. As I mentioned, has added a pickoff move to his repertoire and picked off 3 runners as well. Does an excellent job on that mound, commanding the strike zone. Fastball's going to be high and out. Most of the season, Matt's been batting in that 2 slot. As we try to pull up some facts for Matt, maybe we even surprise his dad, Jeff, here. As we see the pickoff move from Schaefer to Nelson, and Gage gets back. 1-0's our count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. The pitch almost looked behind him, but it was actually a beanball that's going to put Burgum on first. Looks like that one just completely slipped out of Schaefer's hands.
Now hitting for the Wildcats, right fielder number 3, Luke Casanova.
Luke Casanova steps in, right fielder. Had a nice base hit here in the bottom of the 3rd as he went with that curveball to right field. Gage on second as he's courtesy running for Hawes. Burgum on first pitch fastball, swing and a miss. Speaking about these senior factoids, Matt Burgum says that he enjoys a nice Swedish fish and applesauce mixture. I don't know if that's a Burgum household favorite. So, Coach Butler puts Gage in motion, gets the runners over to 2nd and 3rd as Casanova grounds out to Morehouse.
Now batting for the Wildcats, center fielder.
So now Liam Martin, the center fielder, the leadoff hitter,
Martin.
will come up with Gage sitting at 3rd, Burgum at 2nd. Coach Butler's an aggressive coach as he likes to put runners in motion, whether it be hit and runs, fake bunt steals, early steals in the count, early steals in the game, put the pressure on the defense, and also get the defense rotating and moving out of position. 1-0's the count to Martin. Once again, it's Schaefer. As we watch Martin with a base hit to right. That's going to bring home Gage. And no relay as Burgum scores from 2nd. So Martin comes through with RBIs numbers 14 and 15. So he's kind of setting himself apart here early on in the RBI lead. Senior Jackson Amon steps in with Liam Martin, the center fielder, at first. 1-0's the count. Eagan doing a nice job of going the other way as we've watched now Casanova take a curveball to right, and this last at bat, Martin taking that fastball to right. 5-3's our score, bottom of the fourth. Two evenly placed teams here in the South Suburban Conference. As we mentioned, Eagan 6-11 on the year. Another fastball misses. With Rosemount 6-10 on the season. So Schaefer laboring a little bit here. No activity yet in the Rosemount bullpen. Fastball low that Jackson's going to have to recover that bat as he was already heading down to first. 3 runs our count. Beautiful day on senior day here at Wildcat Park for the matchup between Rosemount Irish and the Eagan Wildcats. And there's ball 4. So that'll bring up the DH, senior Jonah Pellegrom.
Now back to the Wildcats, designated hitter number 7, Jonah Pellegrom, number 7.
So Jonah steps in, lead the team in batting average, batting .372. As I mentioned, he's going to play next season at Gustavus. 1 home run on the season, 9 RBIs, and 11 runs. Fastball is up. One the count. Another factoid from Jonah is his favorite food is cheeseburgers. As he swings and misses on that changeup in the outside corner. 1-1 with Martin at second, Amon at first. Martin with a big 2-out, 2 RBI single to right. As we watch a little pickoff play, that ball's going to go into center field. That's going to put Martin on third, and as we watch Amon trickle into second. So the second pickoff move today at second base was Schaefer and Princeell. That time, Schaefer didn't have a good grip on the ball, threw that one into left field. So we get a timeout for a little coaches meeting here on the mound. Assuming what he's probably telling Schaefer is, let's just worry about this number 3 hitter at the plate as opposed to trying to pick off Martin at second. We'll get into more factoids. Yeah, we're going to check out a replay here of that pickoff play between Schaefer and Princeell. Not even really close to the base. Easily, Martin's able to scoot into third. 1-1's the count. 2 outs. Bottom of the fourth. Eagan's done a nice job of rallying here these last 2 innings. Plated 3 runs in the bottom of the third. 2 in the bottom of the fourth here currently after giving up those early 3 in the top of the first. Leitenberg's been doing an excellent job of kind of calming the nerves and just relying on his defense. Early first pitch fastballs and getting ground outs and getting a big double play ball from Amon to Downs on a line drive. 1-1's our count. 2 outs here with Pellegrom. Curveball misses again outside. So you can kind of see a little frustration from Schaefer as that curveball just doesn't have the snap and it just doesn't have the command for it within the zone here pretty much all game. Fastball out. If my memory serves me correct, I believe last year Jonah was the team leader in home runs. I think he was somewhere around 4 to 6 home runs. So definitely has the pop in his bat as he fouls that one back. Obviously, as we mentioned, he missed about 3 to 5 games with that injury. But he also came back probably a lot sooner than he probably planned on. Or not planned on, but maybe the coaches probably thought. So he's definitely happy to be back for these last 2 home games, especially today's senior night. as he flips one to left field. Nope, excuse me, it's going to be foul territory around third, and that's going to go to play. In doing so, Retzlaff's going to knock open that gate. Probably have to retrieve the foul ball himself, so no kid gets a free bag of popcorn. So 3-2's our count. 2 outs here, bottom of the 4th. Again, this is Casey Lux, joined at times from Mr. Everything, Jeff Burgum. Right now he's doing PA work, he's doing the DJ work, he's giving senior factoids. All probably while he's being a nervous dad watching his son play on senior day. So, quite impressive. 3-2's our count, 2 outs. Fastball is up as Jonah grabs a walk. So that'll bring up a shortstop, the junior, number 12, Aiden Byrne.
Now batting for the Wildcats. Shortstop.
288 on the season.
12.
As I mentioned, second on the team with 7 stolen bases. Second on the team with 9 RBIs and 6 runs. Fastball inside for a strike. Does a nice job at shortstop. Has excellent range laterally, but also does a good job of coming up on the slow rollers. Coach Butler would tell you that he's seen a really nice improvement from last season when he was a sophomore on varsity. A lot of tension playing shortstop, no matter what level you're at. Highest percentage of ground balls coming your way as he falls off that curveball. So you have to have plenty of moxie, guts, and confidence to stand tall at at shortstop. So Wildcats have bases loaded here, 2 outs. You got Pellegrom at first, Amon at second, Martin at third. Martin had the big 2-out, 2 RBI hit. Amon got a walk as well as Pellegrom as we watch Byrne lace one down the line off the Green Monster. That's going to plate 2, and Pellegrom is going to be held up at third as Byrne gets Egan's 6th hit of the day for 2 RBIs. And that's going to bring out head coach Chris Swanson. Still haven't seen a whole lot of action in the bullpen, but he's going to make a change. So it's going to be a position change as he's going to bring in the center fielder, it looks like, which would be Eason Richter. And then we'll see now, it looks like so Richter's going to replace Schaefer. And then now coming into center field will be number 26, David Knoll.
Now pitching for Rosemount, number 30, Easton Richter. Again at Wildcat Park.
So coach, parent, Mr. Everything, Jeff Burgum is going to give some more factoids here that I've already passed on to the TV crew.
Jonah's nickname is either JP or
Pelly.
Not sure. Originally from Racing.
So Richter's going to move from center field onto the mound. And as we mentioned, Noel's going to come in off the bench and play center field.
Another factoid for Ty Haas, number 28 catcher.
Egan's done an excellent job these last 2 innings of plate and runs and having just solid at-bats. I believe that they're up about 4 or 5 walks between the last 2 innings with very timely hitting. 3 in the bottom of the 3rd, 4 in the bottom of the 4th, as they still sit with Byrne on second and Pellegrom at third. And the senior first baseman, Nick Downs, will be coming up. So never easy to come in cold. But Richter comes in from center field. Obviously, he's been loose as he's been playing center field, but hasn't had a chance to really crank it up. So I believe in high school they only give him about 8 pitches for warm-ups. So he's got to get a quick feel for not only his fastball, but mainly his curveball. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. as Byrne had the big double right above the 300 sign on the Green Monster. So that's going to bring up, like I said, the first baseman, senior Nick Downs.
Now pinch hitting for the Wildcats, number 25,
Oh.
Carson Cooper.
So Carson Cooper's actually going to be pinch hitting here for Downs. Cooper and Downs both have spent plenty of time at first base. Cooper actually yesterday played some left field, had a big RBI sac fly. So Cooper's going to settle in. Cooper on the season, 222 hitter with 6 RBIs, so has some pop in the bat as well. Burns on second after that 2-out, 2 RBI. As Cooper flips one into right, Henderson has a beat on it, makes the catch. So the Wildcats add some damage to the bottom of the fourth as they plate 4 runs on 2 timely 2-out, 2 RBI singles, one by Martin as well as one by Byrne. Pull up some stats here, give a little recap of that last matchup between Rosemount and Eagan. Unfortunately, it looks like that score may not have been reported according to the stats that I have. Actually, no. Rosemount won that game 5-4 at Rosemount. Leitenberg's going to come out here for the top of the 5th inning. Okay, so leading off the top of the 5th will be the now pitcher who went from center field to pitching. Excuse me, be the left fielder, Connor Kenefick.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 8, Connor Kenefick, number 8.
So 2-3-4 here in the top of the 5th. Game moving right along, even with the 2 big innings by Eagan. Leitenberg's going to rock back, throw a fastball low and in for ball 1. Leitenberg's pitch count has to be pretty solid here after he got past that first inning. Had a real nice and easy second inning and has been cruising kind of ever since as we see a foul ball down third baseline. 1-1's our count. 7-3 Eagan here in the top of the 5. Eagan's infield still goes Downs, Amon, Byrne, Barry as we watch a fly ball hit straightaway center. Martin takes 2 steps back for the first out of the inning.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 29, Jake Retzlaff, number 29.
Third baseman Jake Retzlaff steps in. Had the game's first RBI on a base hit up the middle that plated Henderson. Cooper pinch hit for Downs, but then Downs re-entered to play first. Eagan's outfield goes Casanova in right, Martin in center, and then senior Matt Burgum in left. Change up for a strike across the middle. Reese mainly been throwing, as we mentioned, fastball, changeup, changing speeds, mixing in changeups early and often. Comes back with a fastball in the outside corner. 1-2's our count. Throwing a few curveballs here today, but at the same time wasn't maybe getting the best spin on them, so stuck with a fastball and curveball as that foul ball goes on the top of us of the press box. 1-2's our count, 1 out. Once again, lovely day here on Senior Day at Wildcat Park. Rosemount Irish 6-11 on the conference. As Retzloff gets into one, left center field. Martin's got a beat on it, drifts a little bit to the warning track and makes the catch. The second out of the inning. That's going to bring up the catcher, Tyler Steimer.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 37, Tyler Steimer, number 37.
Righty throwing, lefty hitting. Catcher, Tyler Steimer. Reese once again. Nice pace. Good rhythm on the mound. Keeping his shoulders square. As we mentioned, senior left fielder Matt Burgum. Another factoid about him, it says nothing calms him down like a good book. As we watch a foul ball by Steimer to make it 1-1.
Somebody on it right away.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, some would say that's fact, you know. Training your brain, right? Always learning. I know mom and dad enjoy that. Better than him saying scrolling on Twitter. We must see a fastball missed inside. Another factoid about Matt. He says that he wakes up at 5 a.m. on the weekends to take a jog around his neighborhood. Now, I wonder if dad or mom ever joins those 5 a.m. workouts. The other question will be is, will those 5 a.m. jogs continue when he goes to college? I would bet against it, but you don't know. 3-1's our count. Leitenberg to Steimer. Fastball, fouled back. 3-2 now is our count. 2 outs here, top of 5. As we mentioned, it is senior day, so we'll be filling in some facts that the seniors gave us today, showing off a little bit of their humor and also just letting us get to know them even a little bit better. This could be the inning that Martin has all 3 putouts, and he does. So Martin roams around in center for the 3rd out of the inning. Another excellent inning by Leitenberg. Wildcats after 4.5. 7-3 Wildcats, still out hitting Rosemount 6-4. No errors here early on in the contest. Easton Richter still our pitcher on the mound for Rosemount, as Rosemount seems to have kept the same lineup other than that switch between Schaefer leaving the game. I believe we have a new right center fielder too. It was David Knoll. I think he's still out there. I don't have my beanie coolers, so I can't tell if that's 26 or 24. And speaking of Mr. Tyler Martinez, who said his favorite food is tacos, he is going to pinch hit here on senior day. So we're going to watch Martinez is going to step in as he's going to pinch hit, I believe, for Barry. So Tyler Martinez is going to step in, facing Easton Richter. So Tyler, as I mentioned, does a little bit of everything. Pinch runner. I've seen him play some third. I've seen him actually, maybe out in the outfield too. As he takes that first pitch fastball, is going to ground it to second. Mishandled by Morehouse, and Martinez is going to be safe on the plate. First error of our ball game, is now we're going to welcome up the senior catcher, Ty Hawes.
Now batting for the Wildcats, catcher.
Ty Hawes on the season, as I mentioned earlier, 238. Obviously, that's gone up after that double. 1 stolen base. He has a home run on the season, 8 RBIs and 2 runs. Martinez on first after the error by Morehouse. Pick-off throw from Richter to Nelson, and Martinez knows that there's plenty of detergent at home, so he dives back into first. Haas kind of opened up the game, or the floodgates, so to say, in that bottom of the third with that double down the line as he swings miss on a high inside fastball. Eagan Wildcats, as I mentioned, coached by head coach Steve Butler, assisted by Steve Cullers as that curveball misses up. And the pitching coach is Tom Buski, who had his college playing days at the University of Minnesota. Pitcher. Coach Cullers, I've been told, was a heck of a catcher back in the day, played some minor league ball as well. Once again, the battery currently for Rosemount is Richter on the mound with Steimer behind the plate. As we watch Haas again with a big base hit on senior day. So Haas has been on base 3 times today as he's walked and has 2 base hits. And once again, we're going to get the backup catcher Ty Gage to courtesy run for Haas. So the senior Matt Burgum will step in. Martinez is on second. The courtesy runner is Gage, number 8, on first. Curveball misses up. Burgum showing bunt. As Coach Butler like to get runners both in scoring position, especially as they're closer to rolling that lineup back over to the top. Rosemount's still playing pretty much straight up. As you can see, Nelson creeping up a little bit from first as Burgum fouls that one off. Typically, third baseman's going to stay home for the force play. Pitcher's really got to hop off that mound and cover the third base side of the bunt. And the second baseman's got a long jaunt as he is the one that's expected to cover first. Burgum's going to call time, step out. 7-3's our score here. Bottom of the 5th inning. Nobody down. 1-1's our count. Senior Matt Burgum up at the plate. Martinez led off the inning with the kind of cue ball hit to second baseman Morehouse that wasn't able to corral the spin, got past him. So Senior Martinez now sitting on second base after the base hit by Haas. 1-1 still our count. Burgum shows bunt. He's going to get one down, but nice catch. Nice catch by Richter with the relay to Prinzel that doubles off Martinez. Martinez just kind of took a little bit too big of a secondary as Burgum had a hard time getting that bunt down to the ground. So now 2 outs. As the right fielder, Luke Casanova, steps in. Had an RBI single here in the bottom of the 3rd as he took that curveball to right field. So we watch Richter's curveball miss outside. As I mentioned earlier, Casanova's kind of played all over the field. He's batting .225 on the season, 3 stolen bases, 5 RBIs, and scored 10 runs. It's a close play from Richter to Nelson. Casanova definitely has some speed, hence why he can play all 3 outfield positions. Typically, he's out in left, with Martin usually holding down center field. When Martin starts, it's usually between Casanova and Burgum in center. Outside fastball is in there for a strike. Today, though, Casanova's getting the nod in right with Burgum getting the nod in left. Typically, it's flipped around as Burgum typically is your right fielder. And on days where Burgum pitches, a lot of times you'll see Leitenberg out in right. Curveball high and tight. Casanova just dives out of the way. Gage faked the steal there. Either that or he just didn't get a good enough jump that he didn't want to go. And now Steimer's got to talk to Richter. Might have been a little mix-up on the signs there. More of a fastball count when it was 1-1 as that curveball was high and tight. 2 down, 2-1 count. Casanova at the plate. Fastball's out, 3-1. 7-3. Eagan Wildcats on senior night, senior day, senior night here at Wildcat Park. Fastball once again misses out. Casanova gets a walk. That's going to bring up the top of the lineup. Center fielder, the freshman, Liam Martin. So Martin's had a heck of a game today. I got him for 3 RBIs today, so he's up to 12 on the season, so he takes over the lead. And he's also leading the team with 15 runs on the season as he scored 2 here today. So Gage is on second. Casanova's on first. Martin's up with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Again, it's Casey Lux here on Eagan TV. I want to thank all the camera crew. They do an excellent job of capturing all the plays, getting the best angles, getting the clearest picture, as well as everyone back in the truck doing the replay work, keeping me on my toes, and bringing you this broadcast as we watch a fastball out. Lovely day, though. The other times that the crew's been out here, it's been mid-50s. So typically it's stocking hats, jackets, gloves, and they're out in the elements as we watch Martin lace one to center. That's going to take Noel back for the 3rd out of the inning. So Eagan had an early threat as they had runners, had Martinez and Gage on first and second with nobody out. But that bunt, that double play ball on that pop-up bunt killed that rally. Going over some more factoids here. I'm going to give you one about first baseman Nick Downs. He says he once dropped 102 points on 5-minute quarters with his 2K My Player basketball. His family calls him FedEx because he's the only non-ginger in the family. Didn't get that ginger gene, it sounds like. Reese Leitenberg's going to come out here, though, for the top of the 6th. And we're going to be watching as the DH, number 7, Nick Magnuson, will be leading off the inning. Magnuson had a hit early on, too, had an RBI himself in that top of first where they played at 3 runs. Eagan still has the same lineup on the field. Bergam in left, Martin in center, Casanova in right. Coach Butler's doing a good job of getting the seniors in, as he's already gotten Martinez in for a pinch hit. Also got junior Carson Cooper in for a pinch hit, but then Downs re-entered. So top of 6 as Magnuson, the DH, steps in. Leitenberg trying to keep the train rolling here strong. Now he's getting that curveball with some movement. A lot of times you'll notice is pitchers that have a hard time getting a good feel for the curveball early in the game. As the game goes on, maybe that arm tires a little bit. The sharpness of your curveball tends to come back around. Early on in the game, a lot of times pitchers either gripping that ball too tight or the release point isn't just where they want it. That arm slot isn't where it needs to be. Hence why you see a lot of those hanging curveballs or those curveballs that are up in the zone. There's a sharp curveball, but down in the dirt. Perfect waist pitch by Leitenberg. Once again, Hawes, even with nobody on, is a backstop back there and gobbles it up. 1-2's our count. Magnuson at the plate. Leitenberg here out for the top of the 6th. Fastball outside corner, just misses.
Hey, expect it. Here we go.
The 2-2 pitch is going to be hitting the gap. Is it going to hang long enough for Martin? And it does not, as Martin takes a valiant dive. Ball gets past him. Bergam's going to have to get on that relay as Magnuson looks to trot in for a stand-up triple. Great effort there by Martin as he just missed it. Not a whole lot of wind today, so that ball didn't hang long enough for him to get the perfect beat on it to run underneath it. Yeah. So the pitcher now will be Easton Richter. In a 7-3 game, coaches aren't going to be too upset with a the effort like that, diving and letting the ball get past. If it was a tighter game, he'd probably want to keep that ball in front, either hold him to a single or maybe even a double. But with nobody on, you take that chance of making that out, as you only need to collect 6 more outs here for Eagan. Pitching coach Tom Buski is going to head out there and talk to Reese Leitenberg, as we do see a little bit of action in the bullpen. As I'm trying to get a glimpse as to who's warming up, it looks like we have having a hard time seeing who we got warming up down there. I don't know if they're just doing a bullpen or if we actually have potentially somebody coming in. So the pitcher, Easton Richter, as Magnuson is sitting on third after that leadoff double to the left center gap. Fastball's in, gets past Hawes, but not further back enough for Magnuson to take the chance coming home on the pass ball. Smart move by Magnuson, down by 4. No need to get dicey and give away an out at home. Only 1 error in today's game, and that was by Rosemount last inning, and then the cue ball hit by Martinez. As Richter turns on one to Henderson and right, takes a few steps back, makes a play. His relay into downs, and Magnuson's going to score to make this a 7-4 ball game. So we're going to have a pinch hitter here. It's going to be Riley Schimmel.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 1, Riley Schimmel, number 1.
So Schimmel's going to be batting for Morehouse. We'll see if he stays in the game as the second baseman. 1 down here. As we mentioned, a little bit of activity by Eagan, but we're having a hard time seeing who's actually getting loose. No activity on the Rosemount bullpen. 1 out, top of the 6th, as that curveball misses in. 7-4 ball game. A big game for conference standings, as well as sectional standings for come playoff time. Fastball fouled away. Even conference in the South Suburban. One thing that I've noticed the last few years is the talent that each team provides in the South Suburban Conference. One thing I don't think a lot of people in Minnesota realize, a lot of top-notch players go to a lot of top-notch Division I programs. Just this season we've seen a pitcher from Lakeville North that's going to be heading to North Carolina. Saw the youngest Carlson, Max Carlson, who's a junior, I believe. His brother was drafted by the Mariners last year in the 1st round. And then A.J. Lattery also is going to be going to Oregon State, as we see a little pop-up as Amon just reaches just past his reach on a diving play. The old Texas leaguer for a base hit by Schimmel.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 34, Dylan Prinzel.
Shortstop Dylan Prinzel steps in after that base hit by the pinch hitter Schimmel. A.J. Lattery from Prior Lake is going to Oregon State. So top-notch players from Minnesota going to top-notch programs, and a lot of them here in the South Suburban Conference. As we mentioned, Eagan themselves has Bergham heading to St. Scholastica, Jackson Amon heading to St. John's. Ty Hawes is going to play at University of Minnesota Morris as well. Looks like Derek Hansen is the one that's getting loose. Martin, once again, has a beat on it, just misses him on the outstretch of Martin. That's going to allow Schimmel to scoot into third on the base hit by Prinzel. So Prinzel goes with that off speed to right center. Martin's definitely getting his steps in on his Fitbit, as he's been roaming left and right, and that time he misses it on the dive. First baseman Reed Nelson now comes in, as we're going to watch Hawes go talk to Leitenberg, which very well could mean that we're going to see time for a relief pitcher from Eagan, as Coach Butler is going to come out and give Reese a nice hard handshake for a nice job well done here. Yeah, maybe just a little bit of gas, but not really hit too hard. The one ball to left center was hit more on the line than this last one. Martin just coming up short on 2 balls hit to the gaps. But an excellent outing by Reese. You have to remember, too, the kid was sick yesterday, so got to like the guts from the junior by Reed. So coming in for Eagan will be number 11, Ryan Schoveller, and he's kind of their go-to reliever late in games. I don't know if you want to call him your closer, but a guy that they definitely can count on, whether there's bases are empty to start off a clean inning or with bases on, with runners on base.
Outfield.
So Schoveller's going to come in and get loose. As we mentioned, it's pretty jumbled up for the South Suburban standings. On the season, Eastview's sitting at 10-5, Burnsville's 11-6, Farmington's 10-6, Lakeville North is 8-5. So Lakeville North actually is the one that has to make up the most games at this point, as they have 5 more conference games to get in. Burnsville, though, through the season has 106 runs scored, but they've also given up 92, so a lot of tight games for Burnsville. Eagan on the season is 6-11 in the conference, 8-11 overall. On the season, 99 runs, 90 runs given up. As we mentioned, looking to get rid of that 1-game losing streak as they lost yesterday to Farmington Tigers. Schoveller, a junior, solid reliever, hard fastball, sharp curve. I think he even mixes in a little bit of a slider at times as well. Pitches only from the stretch. Kind of has that half light kick to stabilize and get some balance pretty much over the top. And he's their go-to out of the bullpen for the Wildcats. So Derek Nelson, the first baseman, is going to step in. We got runners on first and second as Reed Nelson, the first baseman. So Schimmel, who pinch hit for Morehouse, is sitting on third as he went first to third on the base hit in the right center gap by Prinzel. So they put Prinzel in motion. Eagan had the play set up just to throw to the cutoff man, Byrne, to see if they could get Schimmel to bite and try to get that easy out at third. So now you have Prinzel. Prinzel's at second, Schimmel's at third, 1 out. As we see Nelson pop one up to left to Burgum. Burgum's going to set underneath it. His relay home. Not in time as Schimmel scores to make it a 7-5 ball game. So Schoveller does his job by getting that pop-up. Like to keep that in the infield to save that run, but at the same time he does keep Prinzel at second. Watch the replay here. And the pop-up by Nelson, the RBI sack. Burgum does a good job getting behind the ball to set his feet, but the speedy Schimmel beats the throw into home. Schoveller's curveball in there for a strike. Leadoff hitter would be the right fielder, Lucas Henderson. 2 outs here, top of the 6th, 7-5 Eagan lead. Hits are even at 7. Rosemount with the only error in the day. Another curveball just missing in the outside corner. Schoveller tends to pitch a little backwards, and when I say that, likes to start with that off speed early and often in the count to set up his fastball, as opposed to throwing fastballs for his first pitch to get over for a strike. 1-1's our count. There's that curveball again. Flipped out to right. Casanova's got a good beat on it, and there's your 3rd out of the inning. So Schoveller does exactly what's asked of him as he comes in, gets 2 pop-ups within about 5 pitches. So after 5 1/2, we have a 7-5 ball game. Eagan leading over Rosemount, the Irish. Last one. All right, I'll give you another fun fact as I'm kind of running out all my fun facts too. Danny Henderson, guy that can play left field, right field, as well as pitch. A couple fun facts that he gave us. Was the starting point guard of the Raging Richards intramural basketball team. Danny Henderson also got a 36 on his math section of the ACT. I'd be bragging about that number as well. And Danny Henderson has also been to the movie Hong Kong 3 times. Don't know if that's a fun fact. I guess unless you really like Hong Kong. You're welcome. So that's a couple fun facts about Danny Henderson. I'll give you some about Sam Oliver here too. I'll mix those in. We got Sam Oliver and Andrew Stour yet to fill out for our senior fun facts. Our leadoff hitter though here in the bottom of the 6th will be the second baseman, Jackson Amon. As we mentioned, Jackson's going to be playing college ball at St. John's. Jackson will step in at 262, 7 stolen bases. First pitch in there for a strike. Richter again came from center field to the mound to replace Schaefer. Amon does have that 1 home run of the year, 9 RBIs and 9 runs. As he bounces one over to Morehouse for the first out of the inning.
Now batting for the Wildcats, designated hitter, number 7, Jonah Allegro. Number 7.
So we watch that replay from the relay from Morehouse to Nelson. So Morehouse was pinch hit by Schimmel, but then re-enters back to second. Jordan Pellegrom, senior, going to extend his baseball career to Gustavus next year. As I said, leading the team with a 372 average, 9 RBIs and 11 runs on the season. Takes that curveball in there for a strike. Bottom of the 6th, 1 out. Senior day. Rosemount and Eagan. Eagan holding on to that 7-5 lead. 2 big innings for Eagan. 3 in the bottom of the 3rd. And 4 runs, all with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. 2 big 2-out singles. 1 by Martin, 1 by Byrne. Byrne hit that double off the Green Monster. 1-1's our count as you see the fastball go in the dirt. Mix in a few more senior facts as we've kind of gone through them all here today. Lovely day for the seniors. They hope to end their Eagan career with a home win as that fastball misses low and in. 3-1 to Pellegrom. Richter once again came in from center field as Schaefer went 4+ innings. They have him shaded a little bit to right. Strike on the outside corner on that changeup. 3-2 to count to Pellegrom. They call him Pelly or JP. I'm guessing he would like nothing more than a solid hit here in his potentially last at bat. And a nice play by Richter to get the glove down as he relays to Nelson for the second out of the inning. So bring up the shortstop. Aiden Byrne, the shortstop. Huge 2-out, 2 RBI double off the Green Monster in the bottom of the 4th to help push that lead. At the time, that pushed it to 7-3, with Rosemount now responding with 2 runs in the top of the 6th as he just tries a drag bunt for a hit, and it fouls it off. Second year being the starting shortstop for Byrne, 288 on the year, 7 stolen bases, 11 RBIs, and 6 runs. And I updated those RBIs as he had 9 coming into today. So he sits second in the team to Martin, and Martin's having a heck of a day as he has 12. Curveball out for a ball, 1-1. Richter doing the pitching.
Link, I got a gamer with your name on it.
Steimer doing the catching for Rosemount. Byrne at the plate, 1-1's our count, 2 outs here. Fastball in there for a strike in the outside corner. Fast-moving game as we're still under 2 hours. And I don't even know if I don't believe this game even started exactly at 4:30. Curveball gone the other way. Henderson has a beat on it right, makes the catch for the third out of the inning.
Let's go. Come on, guys. 3 outs to win the game. Let's go. Come on, show.
So we'll see if Schoveller goes out for the top of the 7th. A couple other senior factoids. Sam Oliver threw a no-hitter this summer going into his senior year. He's the best spike ball player on the team. People call him Ollie, and he has a rivalry with Nick Downs, the first baseman. And then, as we mentioned earlier, another reliever on the team, Andrew Stour, went undefeated in the singles badminton and gym, and he's also the dodgeball tournament champion. So it sounds like Stour is the champion of all things that are not team sports. He's a big badminton and a big dodgeball guy. Likes to be on his own team. So Schoveller will go out there for the top of the 7th, has a 7-5 lead. Looking to get that all-important first out, as he's going to face the 2, 3, 4 hitters for Rosemount. It's going to go Kennefick, Retzloff, and Steimer. Once again, senior day here, last home game of the season. Wildcats have one more game tomorrow. Burnsville? Yes, at Burnsville for the last game of the season. Then they'll have a week off as they prepare for section playoffs. So as we said, the left fielder will be number 8. Left fielder Connor Kennefick's going to step in. Schoveller did an excellent job coming in last inning. Runners on base. Coaxed 2 pop-ups, 1 to Burgum for a sac fly. First pitch curveball in there for a strike. And then he also got a fastball, or excuse me, got a pop-up to Casanova to end the inning. Schoveller more of a fly ball pitcher than a ground ball pitcher. A lot to do with the heavy amount of curveballs that Schoveller likes to throw. Hits are even at 7. Rosemount has a 1 error, and it's a 7-5 ball game. Ball hit up the middle. Big bounce on Byrne, and he makes an excellent job keeping his feet underneath him. Also keeping his momentum with him as he didn't overrun that ball and was able to take that big hop.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 29, Jake Retzloff, number 29.
And that just shows you the valuable experience that Burns had. Like I said, this is his second year on varsity, playing shortstop. Doesn't give up on too many plays. We'll see that ball hit deep to left center field. It's going to get to the warning track. Martin grabs it. That's going to be a double for Retzloff. Retzloff having a nice day. RBI single in the first and adds a double now to almost the deepest part of the park. So that's going to bring up the catcher, number 37, Tyler Steimer.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 37, Tyler Steimer, number 37.
So Rosemount, obviously, after seeing Schoveller now with a few different at-bats, knowing that he's going to more than likely start off with that curveball, Retzloff sitting nothing but curveball and just wanting to react to the fastball, and he jumps on that curveball and deposits it out to the warning track in left center. There's a little mix-up as he throws that first pitch fastball in there for a strike on Steimer. Haas does a nice job of putting down the signs and mixing it up so that there isn't the same pattern over and over to hitters, as we see a curveball in the outside corner for a strike. So the game within the game as Schoveller starts off fastball, then goes to curveball, as opposed to curveball, as he done to most of the previous 3 hitters. 1 out here, top of the 7-5 ball game as Egan's winning as we see a hot shot hit at Downs. Downs looks like he's going to take it himself, and he does for the 2nd out of the inning. So Chauvel, fastball on the outside corner, didn't miss by much. It's been a call that's been given most of the day. Getting a little tight here. I thought the dinner reservation started at 7, but apparently he has nowhere to go here. So 3-0 our count, 2 down. As the DH Nick Magnuson is up, trying to extend the game for Rosemount. Chauvel's fastball once again misses, not by much. So Magnuson now goes to first, and will bring up the pitcher, Easton.
Now batting for Rosemount, number 30, Easton Richter.
So now for Egan, you do have the force at second. We'll see if Coach Swanson puts Magnuson in motion and see kind of the chest move play. Previously, the other 2 times there was first and third. Both times Ty Hawes, the catcher, has just thrown the cutoff throw straight to third to Byrne, so they haven't even gone after that runner. First pitch popped up. Chauveler looks like Byrne's got a beat on it. Handles the mound calmly, secures the 3rd out of the game. And with that, the Eagan Wildcats do win on senior night. 7-5 over Rosemount. A big win for the standings as that now puts Eagan at 7-11 in the conference and puts Rosemount at 6-11.
That concludes today's
So,
game.
quick recap of today's game before we sign off. Eagan wins 7-5. They're out hit 8-7. Rosemount makes the 1 error of the day. Rosemount did score 3 in the top of the 1st, and after that, Reese Leitenberg just cruised. Eagan then followed that up with 3 in the bottom of the 3rd and the big 4th inning where they scored 4 runs, and all 4 of those runs with 2 outs. A 2-out single by Liam Martin and a 2-out double by Aiden Byrne. Rosemount then did follow that back up as Leitenberg maybe got a little tired or just had some pitches get away from him as they scored 2 in the 6th. But Chauveler did an excellent job of coming in and closing the door. Chauveler came in, got the fly ball to left for a sacrifice fly. That made the game 7-5, and then continued that with more fly balls and then closed her out. So, again, today, thank you for tuning in. Today's final, Eagan 7, Rosemount 5. For Casey Lux, for Jeff Bergen, once again, we want to thank the camera crew, thank everyone back in the truck, and thank everyone at Eagan TV, and thank you for tuning in and checking us out. With that, though, have a great, wonderful Wednesday night. Thank you, and good night.